Doncaster's backline has been sensational, and they've been able to hit their targets far more and make more use of their inside 50s.
Well, the half back line, as you pointed out, for Vermont is where it all breaking down. They just can't seem to get it out.
No.
Some interesting statistics from that quarter. Hit out 17-9 in favour of Vermont, but then Anarchis and everything controlling the forward ball.
Sharking it.
Yeah.
Living up to his true name. Sharking it. And that's what I mean. This is, Vermont just go around the ground too much. They've got to go more direct.
Yep.
Well, the last quarter gets underway. 4-point lead for Doncaster and Anarchis. He did shark it once again from the ruck contest. Gets the quick kick out of the middle. Another clearance for him. Hall, Turner it was, sorry, got it to Ramboldi. Chance here for Fogarty. Lines up the goals. And that is the perfect start to this last stanza for Doncaster. Michael Fogarty's kicked the great goal. There's a player down for Doncaster in the background. But Fogarty, terrific goal, and gets Doncaster off to the best possible start. A 10-point lead for the Sharks.
That's what happens. You put your best player in the best position on the ground to win the contest, and that's exactly what Chris Anarchis did. Managed to get the clearance out of the centre and set his side up for another score.
And Fogarty been kept out of the quiet this afternoon. He pops up at the right time.
Yeah, as you say, Steve, he's had a quiet afternoon, but it's he might come alive in this last quarter when it counts. This is Greenwood taking the mark. Alex Greenwood, left footer, just a little bit indecisive about what he wants to do here. Now he launches it forward. No mark taken. Coleman sharked the pack nicely again. Lovely pass by Nick Coleman to Kalange. Kalange's kick. Monk's on a long lead, got a fair bit of that. Greenwood gave it back to Wilcox. Wilcox's kick intended for Luke McComb, and it was costly error really then from Matt Wilcox by foot.
Vermont just looked all out of sorts at the back there, Brash.
Their intensity has dropped immensely here. They're just making very, very basic errors here.
Cross down to the boundary shortly. Boundary throw in, Wilcox. McComb hunting down the footy. Coleman got a little boot to ball. Quick kick came out of the pack. McConnon takes possession. He's wrapped up. We'll cross down to the boundary now.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. A really upbeat Andrew Tranquilli at that three-quarter time huddle. He touched on the fact that the trademark at Doncaster is to play in these arm wrestle games, and they do win the arm wrestles, as we saw last weekend against South Croydon when they found themselves 26 points down late in the third quarter. It's in similar vein to last week, this game, actually, because during the second term that Doncaster actually found themselves 21 points down. They've since got on a roll on, and they now lead by 10 points.
Oh, maybe Dan Sensick is Doncaster's lucky charm as the ball's been brought back in. It's down their end of the ground over the boundary line, and out she goes for a boundary throw-in. Let's cross down very quickly to Tim Fitzsimons.
Yeah, I was at Vermont's huddle there with Harmit Singh. He was pretty animated. He wasn't too happy with their transition play. He thinks they can transition a lot quicker, a lot more instantaneously, and they need to really kill the ball in their defensive 50. Too many times they've allowed goals from stoppages when they could have easily killed the ball. He really wants to see what his team's about in this last quarter and see what they stand for.
Kick goes inside forward 50. Coming out was the Kalange, who takes the mark in the long sleeves. Him and Saville today wearing the blue sleeves, and I tell you what, if he puts this one through, they lead by 10 points. They are going to take some stopping, and this is almost bread and butter for a forward. He's already kicked one goal this afternoon.
16-point lead coming up. If he kicks this BWS, they're in front by 10 points at the moment, Doncaster.
Jakey Kalange, deliberate approach, and he makes no mistake either. Look at the boys get around him as well. They're excited. The Doncaster faithful are up and about. They're playing away from home today, trailed by 21 points in that second term, and now they hold a 16-point lead. Barry Cotts, it's all happening around the eastern suburbs at three-quarter time.
It certainly is. Three-quarter time, Ferntree Gully 9-4-58 to South Belgrade 4-7-31.
Looking forward to Brett Bestow's Around the Ground report after the game on the post-match.
Vermont need to respond very quickly now.
They do indeed. 16-point lead for Doncaster.
Boundary.
Cross down. Boundary side to Dan Sensick.
Yes, thanks, Ben. Last weekend's hero, Angelo Rambold, he's actually off the ground at the moment, getting some work done to that right shoulder. Just a bit more strapping, I think.
Thank you there, Dan. Eddie out of the middle, throws it on the boot. Strong tackle by McConnon. Released the footy. Crickus throws it on his boot and it heads out towards the boundary line. I think it might have bounced just inside the field of play. Malloy's little underground handball was ambitious and it was taken over the line. Might get one of you boys on the boundary, Dan or Tim, to find out who the number 61 in this last quarter for Vermont. He's got the head bandage and he's got the number 61 Guernsey.
Might be Joey Fisher.
He might be on the money there, Brash. Boundary throw in. Mackenzie against Buxton.
Boundary.
Cross down to Dan Sensick.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. It's actually Joe Fisher wearing the number 61 jersey.
Correct. So Wadley now with the free kick. Sam Wadley has not troubled the scorers today. This will test him right on his distance, you'd think.
He's backing himself, which is what they have to do at this current stage.
I have a feeling it might be one of those kicks that's going to land right on the line and get picked off by the defenders, but time will tell. Here's the kick from Wadley. Gives it all he's got. In fact, he's hung it out just to the left in striving for the extra distance. He sacrificed a little bit of accuracy and a minor score there for Sam Wadley. 15-point lead for Doncaster.
What do Vermont need to do, Brash? They've got to change something up. What would you suggest?
Open up the forward line and start going a little bit more direct rather than trying to go around the flanks.
Kenzie takes it across the half-back line, so Frankie's just going to poke it up towards the Hall direction. Big high over the back. He couldn't pull it down. Wilcox was there. He got the first handle on it. Almost thought it was a Michael Batista moment. I got excited as the ball hits the deck, and we will have a ball up. True centre wing position right in front of our boundary riders this afternoon. Umpire Tim Phillips throws the ball off now. Buxton got the knockdown that time, almost got a push in the back there was Wadley, and Arcus was in there. Pius said all was fair, let's do it all again.
You know, maybe they're going to look at, like they've done here, put Eddie on the ball, try and get him into the contest. They've got to try and get some momentum going back their way.
Barry Cott's around the grounds.
Yes, indeed. Norwood 69 to South Croydon 55.
Oh, they're coming home, aren't they? The doggy Shimmerbush across the half-back line. A relatively quiet game by his standards.
He has.
Matty, stalwart of the Doncaster Football Club, an absolute legend, there's no doubt about that. Buxton, a double fister in, stolen by Hartwig though, just scrambled a kick, tried to go for purchase and distance. Really strong tackle out there by Conway, released the football. Doncaster still working it forward. Luck's a fortune because it's in the arms of Anarchus, handball over the top, they've still knocked the ball on. First play to chase after it out there was Johnson, couldn't quite pick the football up, he goes after it and after it again, then ducked into the tackle. Alessi was over him, and the umpire comes in and says it was okay. Dan Sensick, boundary side.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Angelo Ramboldi was back on the field about 10 seconds after receiving some treatment to that right shoulder. He was taken down in the tackle now, and he hasn't moved since that last contest there. The trainers are around him now. He's in a world of pain.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Play has stopped. An opportunity to go around the grounds on the score centre with Barry Cox.
Yeah, Division 1, Blackburn 12-12, 84 to North Ringwood 4-4-28. Division 2, Bayswater 12-5, 77 to Mirrabbark 8-3, 51. Lilydale 11-12, 78 to Wanturna South 5-9, 39. Doncaster East 11-8, 74 to Croydon 6-15, 51. To Division 3 and Heathmont and is trailing. It's 9-11, 65 to 6-10, 46. The Basin 8-11, 59 to 7-7, 49. Ferntree Gully and South Belgrave. South Belgrave 4-7, 31 to Ferntree Gully 4-1, 25. And also Churnside Park 6-13, 49 is trailing 15-4, 94 Donvale.
Yeah, I think we need a few updates on some of those scores because they haven't moved since half-time. I don't think the Heathmont changes,
Looked like he, just seeing it out of the corner of my eye as the play was going on, it looked like he, Ramboldi hit his head very hard on the ground as he was tackled. Let's cross down to Dan.
Yeah, Brad, he definitely hit his head when he was taken down in the tackle there. Purely incidental contact there, but he, as you mentioned, he has not moved. They're just loading him onto the stretcher now, and one of the trainers is on the phone. Looks like he was calling an ambulance.
And at ground level, Dan, it's pretty, I mean, it's hard to tell from here, but it's pretty firm surface, the Vermont Reserve.
Yeah, it's in really good nick. I did walk it the other night, and it is very hard in places, Brad.
Yeah, it is. It's held up really well in the winter conditions too. A lot of grounds at this time of year get very heavy underfoot and muddy, but yeah, this Vermont ground's held up really well, and it's quite a firm surface too, as you mentioned too, Brad. So that would have impacted on the collision there too.
You know, so I mean, Vermont now really have to start. They're going to have to dig really deep here because 15 points. It's in the Doncaster's inside 50, and Doncaster all afternoon have been able to make opportunities in their inside 50s to create scoring opportunities. It's a big test.
Well, a week's a long time in football sometimes. This time last week, Angelo Ramboldi was the hero in the last quarter, kicked the winning goal for Doncaster to put them in front. He won't see the final stages of the game today. He's been stretched off in this last term. So Buxton palmed it down nicely to Schneider. Very high kick by Tom Schneider. And what a mark. Gee, he judged that beautifully, Alessi. And he just camped under the footy. It swirled around over his head and finally stuck the arms out and took the mark.
Probably would help if someone put some pressure on him, body pressure.
Yeah, no, everyone seemed to misjudge that.
Yeah, they just stood there and watched.
In the end, Alessi just misjudged it less than everybody else around him. So he's kicked one goal today. That was back in the first quarter.
Tell you what, the fat lady could come in and sing here.
Yeah, walks in. Confident approach.
Bang.
Beautiful kick. Never looked like missing. He splits the middle and stretches the Doncaster lead to 21 points. 2 goals today for Marcus Alessi.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what happened. Once again, Vermont, instead of going forward, went backwards in their inside 50, trying to create or manufacture a loose man and a switch, and they've been penalised yet again, Steve.
Yeah,
White.
and Alessi, as we talked about again, coming when it counts.
Warrandyte within 10 points of Ringwood could be the upset of the year. Here's a go for Vermont, charging his way through with Zeddy, just trying to create something for his side, but in position A, Toddy Vanderhaar takes the mark, kicks it out towards the Coleman direction, who had the fly over the top of McCafferty, couldn't pull it down. Schneider got it to McCafferty, got it away to Buxton on the left boot, slams it inside forward 50, but to no avail. The Sharks just have the answers at the moment. They're everywhere where the ball needs to be, and Vanderhaar once again will be the player to drive the ball out of that defensive zone for Doncaster in towards the middle of the ground. Back with the flight there, Sam Wadley. You've got to pay that. Had enough of it, and he'll take the mark. And he'll take the kick, I should say, up towards the half-forward line. Buxton on the left boot. He's been really good, Buxton, today. Swings it around top of the goal square style. Scooped upon there by Colopi around the body. That's the one that they needed, the Eagles. That's his second goal. And they reduce the margin back to 15 points out here at Vermont Recreation Reserve. 10-6, 66, clickety-click. But they're still trailing Doncaster 12-9, 81.
And that's what happens. Sometimes you've got to make something out of nothing. The same thing that Doncaster have been able to do, but they've been able to do it more often and better, Steve White.
Yeah, and Buxton's been the most consistent, one of the most consistent players for Vermont all afternoon, not just in the ruck, and he was the catalyst there.
Yeah, he probably plays the true follower's position.
Yeah.
Harry Cott's around the grounds with the score centre.
Yeah, score update, Churnside Park and Donvale. Donvale 16-400, Churnside Park 6-13-49, Scoresby 14-15-99, Wadle Blues 3-5-23, Warrandyte and Ringwood close game, Ringwood 5-17-47, Warrandyte 5-7-37.
Bit going on at the bottom of that pack there between Schneider and Fogarty after the tackle. Umpire throws it up, tap one by Buxton. Strong tackle then on Schimmelbusch by Schneider. 15-point lead to Doncaster. Still plenty of push and shove in the middle. Finnan there desperately trying to get to Schneider. Schneider trying to break the tag. And Wadley there on the bottom of the deck. And you're right in what you say about Buxton being a follower and McKenzie. These two ruckmen, Brash, absolutely tireless.
Yeah,
they don't just roam from ruck hit out to ruck hit out and then do nothing else in between. Their mountain of work in everything is huge. I've seen so many times where they're tackling, they're getting the ball on the ground. They just do everything. Massive workload for these two today. It's been a great battle. Quick kick by Wadley. Anarchis throws it on the boot. Tumbles it forward. No mark there to Monks. Good recovery though. Got it to Alessi. And Alessi, there was nothing he could do as he laid on his back, grabbed the footy and was immediately tackled.
But once again,
Johnson.
they create a stoppage in the inside 50 to give themselves another opportunity to score.
Well, it doesn't get any better than 20 metres out. Buxton got the knockdown, Kames out, snap around the body there. This might have gone through from Kalange. In fact, it was Saville, and it goes through for a goal, and that is almost doors are shut out here, Wayne Brasher, in this final term. I'm almost calling this one. 15 minutes gone out here, and it's 13-9, 87, 21-point lead. The biggest of the game for the Doncaster Football Club, equal to Vermont's lead earlier in the game over Doncaster. 87 plays 66.
Well, if you were probably an innocent observer at BWS, you probably would be correct in saying that it's probably his game over, because Vermont just can't generate enough goal-kicking opportunities.
Well, the ball out of the middle. Schimmelbusch tries to chase it down. What have Vermont got to show now? Have they got that big comeback in them? Colopy's kick, though, was marked nicely in defence there by Malloy.
Yep.
And the Sharks come out of defence. Greenwood paddled it on.
Tackle.
Strong tackle there by Van der Haar.
A lot of Vermont players, when they're under pressure, fumble so much. I don't think I've ever seen a game where a lot of their key players continually fumble the ball.
McKenzie throws the ball on the boot. Alessi charges it down. Eddie fed it out to Young. Charlie Young's handball intercepted by Turner. Socket off the ground by Saville. Carey, slick handball to McComb. McComb's kick, looking for Eddie. No mark taken.
Good tackle.
O'Keefe grabs it, and he's immediately tackled there by Malloy. And Cam Purdy it was, in fact, who went up for the mark and is holding his head at the moment. He's feeling the effects of that contest. McComb grabs the footy. Good tackle by Fogarty. And will he be rewarded here? The free kick will go to Michael Fogarty.
He might have had a quiet 3 quarters, Fogarty, but I tell you what, Steve, he certainly has come to the fore when Doncaster needed him in this last quarter.
Yeah, saved his best for last.
Barry Cott's around the grounds.
Yeah, South Croydon ahead 77-66.
Great game out there. It's unheard of, isn't it? Comes out now, a little handball over the top looking for Schneider. Was intercepted nicely there by Turner. Comes out, went straight through the arms there of Frankie McKenzie, but he'll go after it again, the big man, and get every bit of purchase. This has worked out okay. Here's Saville, got the handball away, and Anarchis on the right boot, looking for his teammate out there in Kalange. Gave a little shove. Umpire said play on. He goes after it again. Kalange gets it away. Conway got a toe poker, scooped upon by Connor McCafferty. Arch the back, just got away in a nick of time. That was okay. Greenwood goes out wide, and now it's Timmy Johnson on the right boot up towards the weak position. There's no one there though. Van der Haar, hasn't he stepped up in this last term, taken some crucial marks when it was needed. He's moved up to the wing position. He'll go in towards the Monks direction. Good Jukes. Fantastic mark there by Jimmy Monks, who might just be beyond him distance-wise here. He'll kick it to the top of the square, you would expect.
Well, that's what you want. If you want, that's the discipline play that you want here, BWS.
He's going to back himself.
Monks comes in, goes towards the top of the square. It's going to fall short though, and Wilcox was there to mop it up. Matty switches it out wide, gets it away to Tom Schneider. They know that the clock is against them here, Vermont. They have to go direct. They have to be risky. 18 and a half minutes tick on in the final term out here, and it is a 21-point lead. They need 4 goals, the Eagles. They are Gonski, there's no doubt about that. The ball's in the middle of the ground, scooped upon nicely out there by O'Keefe. Handball still didn't hit the target, but sat up nicely there for Howard, who had 3 bounces in the space of 10 metres. Kicks the ball over the top, inside forward 50. And
I don't know about that.
Waiting for it. I think this is McConnon's going to swing around on the right boot, curl it back enough, but no, through for 1 behind. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, they are 20 points down the home side, Vermont. And 19 minutes have ticked over. Barry's got some more scores. Keep them coming at Footy EFL right throughout the afternoon. There's only 15 minutes or so left across the east.
Yep, 15-minute last quarter at Bayswater, 16-6, 102 Bayswater, Middle Park, 8-3, 51. And also a couple other scores. Leadale 12-14, 86 to Wanturn South, 6-9, 45. Doncaster East 13-9, 87 to Croydon, 6-18, 54.
So Hartwig drives the ball back in.
Need a few Scooby stacks out
Loader, Purdy fisted it away. And, you're right on the money. They're everywhere at the moment.
I'm a little bit perplexed. Cam Howard's running into the forward line. He's got 20 metres. He's got no one around him. He's running to the left. Why wouldn't you be going straight down the ground and kicking for goal? I'm absolutely bamboozled by that decision.
Get out the defibrillator.
Handball to Anarchis, got it from Finnan. Anarchis' kick, a rare mistake by the man today. He put it out on the full. So free kick will go to Staples for Vermont. Kyle Staples. Dangerous kick. Chopped off by Hall. Jake Hall takes possession now, throws it on the boot. The ball will bounce towards the goals. Young works his way back, shared it with Fisher. Fisher's handball to Greenwood. Greenwood's clearing kick for Vermont up towards the wing position. 3-on-1 though, favoured Doncaster. McConnon well wrapped up in the tackle. And after setting the place alight in the first quarter and a bit, Kirby McConnon really hasn't been able to break the shackles since then. He's been very well contained. Schneider's handball over the top to McConnon. McConnon's kick into open space. Hartwig thought he almost marked that. Wasn't paid. Ball on the deck there, and it will be a ball up once again. Carey on the bottom of the pack.
There'll be a lot of people out there tonight looking at Vermont. Once again now they'll be 1-3 against the top 5 sides and questioning whether they're actually going to make a dent in this year's final series.
Buxton got it away. Eddie scooped upon it. Just needed to keep it alive. He couldn't see Gabel's right on his hammer over. She goes for a boundary throw in. It's
a fair question to ask too, Brush. I mean, 1-3, as you say, if they lose this game against other top 5 teams, it's not a good record by any means.
Pye throws it in. Coleman over the top, got the knockdown. McConnon though for the Eagles, got it away. McComb arched the back, got the handball away. They're still trying to work themselves forward here. The pressure from the Doncaster side has been fantastic. Kick goes up in towards the forward pocket, eventually knocked away. Kalopi couldn't keep it in, and we've gone off air again.
No, I don't know. I'm still here, yeah.
Oh, my machine just needed a little bit of a rejig. It's like blowing on an old Nintendo, the old turn it off on situation, blow on the game and everything's peachy. Umpire brings the ball back into play. Buxton got the little knock on, came into the arms there of Vanderhaar. Been solid as a rock in this term, and he almost could have got pinged, but the umpire said it was okay. Ball up deep inside the Vermont forward line.
Well, Buxton won the tap down. The handball was shot out then. Carey hard up against the boundary line and had his kick partly smothered. 20-point lead for Doncaster. So boundary throw in. It'll be Buxton to compete here against Coleman. Quick kick by Whelan. Turner throws it on the boot. Wilcox works his way back, nicely taken. Wilcox safely holds the mark and goes sideways this time to
Wilcox
Young.
Has probably been Vermont's best player today.
Just about, yeah. He's played a fine four-quarter performance. Tim Johnson, very short to Barry Murphy. Xavier Barry Murphy from halfback drives it forward. 2-on-1, favoured Doncaster. Mahon went back to Anarchis. Anarchis to Sia Cavallis. Now with Jack Mahon. Has a bit of time to steady. Mahan's kick looking for Fife. Terrific grab there by Fife.
Keep going.
And he just wants to slow it down, which may not be a bad idea at this stage. Doncaster holding a 20-point lead. Anarchis. Lovely kick. Gave Fogarty every chance. Fogarty's handball to Turner. They can't lay a glove on them at the moment, the Eagles. Doncaster doing as they please. Ball into open space. Nice work by Young. It was courageous. Howard went back with the handball. Staples unloads with the kick. Again, a 3-on-1.
Wowza!
That tops off his day. He has been unbelievable today, and he just caps it off with an unbelievable mark. And Arcus goes short.
What a star.
And
Tell you what, he's in
Doncaster.
Chandler medal form again, isn't he, Chris Anarchis?
Give him the prize already, Brash. As the kick goes up, it goes in towards the wheel and direction. Had to trap it. Little handball away. Got it to himself. Kick by Finnan. Inside forward 50. Getting back Fisher. He had good courage. Gets a handball away. Staples links up. Put his teammate McCabe under a lot of pressure. A double tackle. The umpire's not going to reward it. But geez, the pressure at Doncaster has been ruthless this afternoon. Sensational effort by them. Umpire Tim Phillips. He restarts play here. Buxton worked his way to the front, little backhander over the top, snap around the body, that time by 5, top of the goal square. Styles, Kalanj takes the mark in front. He's already kicked 2 goals for the day, and this will be the seal of the icing on the cake, the candles, the sprinkles, everything. And Doncaster, they're taking home the 4 points today. This has been a sensational effort.
It has been, and they thoroughly deserved their win. Vermont have completely stopped after half-time. All the runners gone out of the game.
Looks like Charlie Young's gone off injured there for Vermont. Yeah.
Some of the senior players need a foot in the backside. They need to stand up when things are going bad, and they haven't this afternoon.
Jake Kalanj, he'll only kick from about 35 metres out, directly in front. Goal umpire doesn't move, and everyone gets around him as well. Doncaster charging into the final series here. They're hanging on to the hope of getting the double chance. They'll still be in 3rd position after today's game, and they played magnificently. 14-9-93 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, leading Vermont 10-7-67.
22nd goal of the year there for Jake Kalanj, and you talked about there, Brash, Doncaster just controlling the fall of the ball.
Yeah.
It's just everywhere. They've got numbers to the ball, and they're controlling the break.
Back in the middle again, Colopy overran the footy. Finnan is well wrapped up. I'll just cross down to Dan or Tim, and how many have Vermont got left on the bench that they can bring back on, because they seem to be running out of legs?
Yeah, it looks like they only have 2 left. You're right there with Charlie Young coming off before. He had his right knee strapped, but it was unrelated to that. He looked like he was pointing to lowering his right leg, and obviously Mars has been off since early in that second quarter, really. So they've really struggled with limited options on the bench.
Yes, thank you, Tim Fitzsimons. So that hasn't helped them, but no excuses. Nevertheless, Wadley's kick, looking for best.
So, I mean, the delivery into the forward line has been absolutely very ordinary.
Barry Codds has got some more scores around the grounds with the score centre.
Yes, the final score in Division 3, Heathmont have gone down to Baronia. Baronia 10-13-73 have defeated Heathmont 9-15-69.
Way to break Steve White's heart there, Baz.
Yes. 4 points, mate.
And Furniture Gully 9-9-63 have defeated South Belgrave 6-9-45.
Oh, comeback.
And Barry, that means Heathmont are 0-5 against the 3 teams above them on the ladder this year.
They certainly are.
Mackenzie there, palmed it down, quick kick by Wadley to full forward, off hands, and Arcus takes possession, has a bounce, runs his full measure, kicks to half forward. Kalonge was the target, but working back nicely was Tim Johnson, the Vermont veteran, who goes short. Short passes on to Purdy. Cam Purdy started the game in a blaze of glory, but he's been pretty quiet in his second half. Drives the kick to full forward. Almost the mark. Van der Haar got rid of it. Quick kick out in the direction of Nick Homan. And the 2-time premiership player, Nick Homan, takes a terrific mark over Crickis. And he'll just take his time. I think he actually is legitimately hurt, but he'll want to take a bit of time up here. Umpire stops the clock. Adds time on while Nick Homan gathers himself.
Good to see the sock still up.
One of about 8 Doncaster players who played in their 2015 premiership team who's out there today. Up towards the wing. Wadley takes possession. A little handball away. Intercepted though by
Here's a
Anarchis. kicks into open space. Monks has time, plenty of time to step and makes no mistake. James Monks gets his first goal of the day.
He deserved one too, didn't he?
Absolutely, and it's the absolute sealer, 32 points, and they are finishing full of running the Sharks. Let's cross down to the boundary.
Yeah, Harmon Singh will be furious with that. The one thing he really mentioned in that three-quarter time speech was their transition, and they were just way too slow to react with the ball coming out. He had to wait way too much space, and their players around the ball were just standing there watching it.
Well, that's what they've been doing since half-time, Tim. That's what we've been watching.
They started well, didn't they, Doncaster, and they've come home like a steam train. Ball in the middle. There's still time for another goal if they want it. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, they lead by 32 points, 99 to 67. Barry Cott's around the grounds with some more scores.
Yeah, so final score, Ringwood 8-26-74 who defeated Warrandyte 5-7-37.
Gallant Warrandyte effort against Ringwood today, the top side, and nonetheless, here's Cavalis, got the handball away to Schimmelbusch, linking up with Fogarty, kicks the ball inside forward 50. Coleman has the sit. Coleman on the second bite takes the mark. He's got a big left boot. He's going with the right that time. Kicks it into the forward pocket. That was Skewiff. Got it to Collage. He's got three. Weighs up his options. Short one.
Well done,
And a well done there by Fisher. We're in the Jesus headband in his second half. Changed it. He's been pinged. He should have been Gonski there. Coleman got the handle away. Here's Collage. Collage for four. Can he put it through? I think he squeezed it home. Oh, the party's down at Trans Reserve tonight. JJ Tully drive. Get the Uber. Get the taxi. It's all happening there. That's his fourth. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 31 minutes now in the final term. It isn't stopping either. 16-9, 105 Doncaster. Vermont 10-7-67.
It's been 11 goals to 2 in this second half with Doncaster, and they have seriously announced themselves as a Division 1 flag favourite today, Steve White.
Indeed. 23rd goal of the season there for James Monks.
There it is.
Siren sounds, and it ends an outstanding performance by Doncaster. 16 goals, 9, 105, defeated Vermont. 10 goals, 7, 67. In that last quarter, Doncaster kicked 7